Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Subramaniam Maslamani. I am proud to be a Tamil by birth and by deed. Today, my topic is about my reply to Mr. Mahinda Rajapaksa speech at the United Nations. Mahinda Rajapaksa, let his conscience be his own judge. Sir, you may instigate racism, fanaticism, and terrorism to scare your people. But the truth of the matter is, Sri Lanka is better off in the hands of Tamils. In the International Lions Club, we frequently use this phrase, let your conscience be your own judge, to draw the attention of our members to root their decisions in the righteousness of their conscience. For a man of conscience seldom makes a mistake. I am asking Mahinda Rajapaksa that can you account for 4 direct murders accredited to your account or you are suspected of, 5,653 number of missing or dead persons under your watch, 40,000 innocent Tamils killed and accounted for, 150,000 Tamil people missing and unaccounted for, and the killer of Lasantha Vikramatunga not brought to justice, and Prageet Egnaligowda not found. When you cannot provide answers to any one of them, the moral justice points fingers at your complicity. It has to be, or you don't have even a vaguely functioning law enforcement and judiciary. Basically, you say we have a barbaric culture of right of the might and blood in our hands and flesh in our teeth. We are not even made an attempt to refute the claims. This will come back to haunt you and your people. You have also created a fear among the people. So then there is no one to give you the other side of the argument or the story. You know what I mean. I have to reflect my views on rest of the people to make their views known. For we make the community in which the members of the community lives. We live as a community. It is in the social contract. For some uncustomary and uncanny ways, you think that you can fool the world, pull wool over their eyes, and send them on wild goose chase. Do not drag Palestinians into this moral content of your behavior. Palestinians can learn one thing from we Tamils. You do what you can do with what you have. Let me repeat. You do what you can do with what you have. There are great opportunities for them to prove to the world that they have something to offer to the world. We Tamils have offered a lot to the world. Otherwise, you will not see Dharma Raja Jaffna Tamil seated next to the head of the IMF. The Chinese have recognized us. The West has recognized us. You and your educated erudite has to think and think again. It is not our mere education, but the strong transgenerational culture and heritage that's at play in the international forum. The world knows the content of our character. At no instant a Tamil will steal or plunder or misappropriate the sacred trust placed on them by others. That is why big potatoes always rise to the top on a shaky road. You shake, we rise. Can you stop the rise? Not in your dreams. I do not know if you follow the world events to know what is happening incipiently. The West knows the capacity of the Tamils, and soon China will learn. Chinese in Toronto do business with Tamils. It is the effort we put in as people who were disenfranchised by your barbaric, fanatic and racist people. We have become a nation without borders. We belong to the world. I think your speech at the United Nations looks like it was not written by Belpotinger, for they would not have made the serious mistake. For you seek a separate state for the Palestinians. At the same time, you refuse it to the Tamils. Subconscious mind speaks louder than your conscious mind. An honest man neither needs a script nor had to remember the words he says. Honesty always speaks effortlessly, uniformly, concisely, and consistently. Next time, at least try honesty for once. You came through like a criminal at a murder trial. Inconsistency is the very power indicator of a man's deranged inner mind. You are idiotic, ignorant, insane, insidious, or combination of all of them. You talk about justice and fair play. First, you had to clean up your inner house before you seek to clean up others. How can you talk like such an idiot in the presence of worthy and worldly people? Either you must be dumb, or the whole world must be dumber. If you believe that that I can some or other fool the world, we will see to it it never happens. You may hold Tamils in Sri Lanka in an open prison, but there are at least another 70 million Tamils living all over the world. That voice you cannot douse, dampen, or diminish. Do not forget, every Tamil will lay a nail on your coffin. You talk about consensus over conscience. Sir, there is no consensus anywhere in the world to take away one's life, leave aside freedom. You not only took away the freedom of Tamils, you denied them food and water for 1 week and then killed them with prohibited weapons. When you threaten a man's freedom, he has the right to defend. That is what you call terrorism. What we Tamil did was to defend ourselves from state terrorism and barbarism. Unfortunately, our culture and makeup does not allow us to point fingers at the enemy. It is not our weakness. It is our inner strength to absorb everything thrown at us. That is tolerance as taught by Lord Buddha, who has been bastardized by you and your people. You and your people made Lord Buddha look like a tyrant and an intolerable man. It's a shame you call your nation a Buddhist nation and the people are Buddhist. I don't think Silvas, Diaz's, Percy's, Ferdinandos, Mels, Pereiras, and Pirises are Buddhist. They are nondescripts. That is where all the trouble in Sri Lanka lies. There's no culture. There's no heritage. There's no moral value to guide one's behavior. Two men stand accused of taking away and denying 4 lives. 5,362 missing persons since he came to power. 40,000 innocent Tamils killed. And 150,000 Tamils missing cannot reach a speech written by one of his people to absolve his direct involvement in taking away precious and valuable lives. As a head of a nation cannot be indifferent to missing lives. Either he is involved in it or he is insane. Sri Lanka as a nation has become a pariah in the international forum. No Tamil should ever call himself or herself a Sri Lankan till a proper tribunal identify the suspect, give them legal assistance to defend them, and prove to the world that we are a great nation except for a few loose cannons. You said it's important to remind ourselves that every country cherishes the values and traditions and deeply held religious convictions it has nurtured over centuries. These cannot be diluted or distorted under the guise of human rights by the imposition of attitudes and approaches which are characteristics of alien nations. There lies the reason for your false convictions. You say human rights is secondary to religion and tradition. No, sir. It is human life, right to life, and freedom to live are the core of the universe. It is the bird that is It is the nature of the bird caught in the snare to free its life. Why? Because that is the whole spirit alive and living. Have you seen a bird caught in a snare trying to free itself? That it wants to live. Human right overrides traditions, religions, and cultures. Human right is the very purpose of having tradition, religions, and cultures. As I explained earlier, you have no culture and no tradition, only criminality and treachery. An honest and decent man will not beat around the bush. You are not an honest man. You have some serious soul searching to do. Your beliefs, your moral values, your moral compass, and your moral directions are all wrong. You need counseling. We need no further evidence to your complicity in the atrocities in Sri Lanka. You will never be smarter than all of us. And one of us may be smarter than you. In the free world, we work to keep us free so that creativity works on overdrive. Freedom is a seminal source of human ingenuity. Your country needs a lot of freedom. So, you talk about terrorism. Who is the terrorist here? You or us? When you deny the people freedom, then you deny them the right to living, and then you go into their homes and kill them. Who is the terrorist here? That is why your Gophers, or in Sinhalese Goliaths, has been served with a summons by the international community to give them chance to prove to the world who the terrorists are. Come on out with all your geniuses and present a credible case. You passed the verdict that Tamils are terrorists. But we say unto you, come out and prove to the world that who the terrorists are. That is the whole purpose of the exercise. The final target is you. You know your involvements. But to get to you will take some moral deliberations. We cannot simply come out and say you are guilty. In that case, there's no difference between you and us. Tamils are decent, moral, peace-loving people. We are Buddhists, not bastards. We are asking you for an impartial inquiry. That's all to it. Which you say, we have our own inquiry. You say you appointed a LLRC to investigate. But when you are the suspect, how will you appoint a commission to find you guilty? It goes against the grain of simple logic. Think of this way. You are the prime suspect, and let us set up an impartial commission to investigate you. Do not worry. An honest man will always find justice. That is the first sentence I learned about law and justice, but I am not a lawyer. You and your government is a perfect example of a domestic front, democratic domestic front to terrorism. Come to Canada and prove to the government of Canada that we are all front of this terrorism. It's a free country, right? Why don't you do that? We don't need terrorism to achieve our ends. There are better and more palatable means to freedom. We cannot tell you how you go about doing things. Calling Tamils as terrorists will only fly on your face. We are getting close to prove to the world that you and your gang of 500,000 uniformed thugs are the worst terrorists in the world. The truth will always find its way to the top. We are working day and night, weekdays and weekends, holidays and holy days to find justice, not to revenge, but for retribution. Minister Mervyn Silva said there are 3 veins that connect the body to the brain. And if these veins were removed, the animal will not feel the pain. I wonder if he was referring to the mental status of Mahinda Rajapaksa. Sir, you cannot kill your way out or kill your way to peace. Today we are much well emancipated to sit as brothers and sisters and negotiate for a common good, not just good for one party. Together we achieve more than on our individual own. We have accepted that no man is better than men. Two brains are better than one. Together we do better. We are building a better socio-economic cornucopia. If a Tamil has been invited to the International Monetary Fund to sit next to the head of the IMF, it should tell you something. It should not scare you. And it should tell you that Tamils are world-class people belonging to world-class institutions to hold world-class positions. If Tamils had come to the West and offer their best inventions, such as the accident-free traffic management system for the world free of charge, the world needs us more than you. We are an asset. You are a liability. It's time for you to make a Tamil the president of Sri Lanka for the good of all people. You may instigate racism, fascism, terrorism, scare your people. But the truth of the matter is, Sri Lanka is better off in the hands of Tamils. You will find out soon. With 50 billion cash reserves, 1.5 trillion assets, we are 10th in the list of rich communities in the world. All of which happened in the last 25 years. Incredible, isn't it? For a community that has no nation but made the world as their country. I'm always proud that my parents were Tamil and I am a Tamil too. As we continue our great march forward, we ask 70 million Tamils worldwide to unite, stay together, work hard, and never ever give up or sit back. For a community is a living organism, constantly faces challenges. It's like a human body. Its social immune system must be kept at its highest level of health. We are winning, and the best is yet to come. Thank you, folks. My name is Subramaniam Maslamani, a world-class Tamil powered by convictions, commitments, and conscience.